Today, what we'll see some different topic. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Hibernate. Hibernate. Okay. If you see our old example, right? Like when we are discussing about core Java, like we had one example, right? Like how to connect database and how to retrieve the records.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me open that example. Just for a second. Basically, when you are doing the core Java, when you are connecting to database, what you did, you have written a simple Java program, and
Mm-hmm.
you have selected the driver classes. Like you want to connect MySQL database or yes, Oracle database. So you selected one driver class. Then you have written some query like select star from some table name, and you have written one query. Then you connected to database and you had given the URL, username and password. This is one sample what is it, that database connection last time when we saw when we were doing the core Java concept discussion. Okay, first what you did, you added the database driver URL, and
Mm-hmm.
also along with that you have added one jar class path also that will be provided by the vendor. So how is it, let me, yeah, so this is the jar, the location, the MySQL hyphen connector hyphen Java hyphen 5.1.6. This is one of the required jar to connect with the database. It was provided by the vendor of MySQL. Okay, and driver you had given, and also you had given the URL of the server. So to which server we need to connect, the MySQL server, and username, password, and you have written query
Mm-hmm.
like star from table name. And before that I created the table like customer info. I created the table and I inserted some records. Then after that what we are doing, we are trying to take the data from the table by mentioning the each column name. Correct. So this is what we did when we are doing the core Java, how to connect database and how to retrieve the record. After that we are closing the connection.
Mm.
So far we did here
So,
so many things like hard coding the query and hard coding the column names and hard coding the driver names, username, password, everything. Correct?
but how do we connect the database? Where is the connection? Is it that connection con?
Yeah, this is the connection con. Do you see there? Driver manager dot get connection. So from getting the connection, from connection, I'm getting the statement object. For the statement object, I'm passing the query. So this is what we discussed in core Java basically. Okay.
Will this be enough?
Sorry?
Uh, this connection con this JDBC MySQL localhost, will that be enough to connect to a database?
Yeah, this is enough.
Uh,
Mainly we need three parameters. Which database you want to connect, and what is the URL,
mhm.
what is the URL, what is the username and password. Then you will get the connection. Then you can do whatever you want.
So the database name is written in the class for name, right?
Yes, yes. It's a vendor. Who is the vendor? It's Oracle or MySQL or Sybase or DB2 or NoSQL or whatever. So this is the
Got it.
vendor and this is the URL. For every database, it's some specific URL is required, right? So where that database server got installed,
Yeah,
and username and password.
got it.
Okay, so this is the way to connect database. So let's suppose if we want to use Hibernate and how to connect to the database. So the main purpose of Hibernate is so we can able to connect to the database by using the Hibernate. So that is the main. So we have a Java program, correct?
Hmm.
And after that, what we are going to write, we are going to use Hibernate
Hmm.
to connect with the database. So finally, we have DB.
Got it.
So main purpose of Hibernate is just to connect with the database. So we are using Java. From Java we are calling Hibernate, and Hibernate will call database. So the similar way, if you want to retrieve the records also same way. So from Java you will call Hibernate, and Hibernate will call database, and you will get the records. So what is, so next question is the what is the advantage? So
Okay.
far you saw in core Java, right? In core Java what you are doing, you are writing the query, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Select star from customer info, that query you written, correct?
Yes, yes.
So you have written the query. But if
Mm-hmm.
you use Hibernate, you no need to write query, it will generate it.
Okay, okay.
This is a one advantage. And second advantage is here, right? So here, if you see your one example, whatever you did, so if you want to modify the database from MySQL to Oracle, then what you have to do, you have to modify your source code, correct?
Yes.
It's very difficult. It's not that much easy, but you have to modify the Java change. Again, we need to
Mm-hmm.
repackage, we need to do so many changes. Okay, this is second advantage. And if you use Hibernate, we can able to
What type?
configure. Yeah.
The second advantage?
Second advantage is, right, like if you want to change the database from MySQL to Oracle, in case of Hibernate, we have XMLs.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to configure, you need to change the vendor name from MySQL to Oracle. No need to do any Java changes. So
Okay.
only XML side you have to modify the database name to MySQL to Oracle. Then it will take care of everything. You no need to do anything.
First advantage is you don't have to write the query there itself,
Yes, it will
right?
generate the query. And second advantage, we can
Okay.
able to change the database from MySQL to Oracle at any point of time without doing any Java
Oh,
changes.
got it.
And third advantage here, right? If you see here, the column names here we are hard coding, correct? This is the database column name,
Mm-hmm.
address underscore ID, address underscore line one, correct? But
Mm-hmm.
whereas here, the column names also we can able to control from the XML.
Okay.
So you know no need to modify, and you know no need to log in a database, and if you want to change the column names and all. So the column names are tightly coupled with Java program. So Java
Okay.
file is independent of the column names.
Got it.
So you can give
Mm.
column name XYZ, and you can treat that XYZ as a different name in XML, so that we can able to manage it.
Got it.
And fourth one is transaction management is very easy here, right? You are doing the closing the connection and all, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So whereas in case of Hibernate, so it will provide unique connection for each user. So basically it is have a
Got
kind
it.
of factory kind of thing. In the
Mm-hmm.
factory, if any user you will call, so it will give one connection. This
Got it.
factory is common for everyone. It is already predefined.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you will get connection instantly. It's very fast. And to get the connection is very fast. Why? Because session factory is common for everyone. And whenever you are getting any session kind of thing, so one user will get one connection from the session factory.
Got it. Got it.
It's
Okay.
like a session. So for each user we have, you mean when we saw letter, we have unique session, correct? It's kind of, it will
Yes.
maintain a unique kind of connection or session for each user.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
And the fifth one is, so the transaction management is very easy here. Like let's suppose you are removing the data from one table and you are inserting data into another table, correct? So if something happened once the removing the data is happened, but you are not able to insert the data into another table, we have to truncate, or we have to remove all the transactions, correct? Whatever you did, the partial transactions we should not encourage, correct?
Yes.
So that it's very easy to maintain that kind of transactions by using Hibernate. But whereas in
Got
case
it.
of
Okay.
Java, you have a connection here, so we have to do some con dot commit kind of thing. Okay.
Okay.
But whereas here it's very easy to maintain that kind of thing. And
Okay.
sixth one is, right. So here we are dealing. So even though you're connecting with database, but still you have to create simple Java class like a customer, and there you have to define your field names. and you have to set the values for customer object. So basically here it's kind of object oriented programming.
Okay.
So this ORM will follow object oriented programming, object relational mapping. So basically you are sending a Java object, and that Java object will be saved into the database.
Okay.
So we know very well how to deal with Java object, correct? So it's very easy.
Yeah.
So that is the main purpose of this Hibernate. Okay, let me show you one example so that you will get a clear picture. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let me open that example. Okay, so to write the Hibernate program, we need some of the configuration files. So what is the configuration files and what is the advantage? First one is, right, so so we need one configuration file. So this configuration file we used to call as a hibernate.cfg.xml. Okay, correct?
Okay.
So what is the purpose of this XML? So here, right, we need to mention to which database you want to connect, what is the username, what is the password, everything. You see, this is the sample XML. So here,
Mm-hmm.
right, to identify the database, so this Hibernate don't know to which database you are trying to connect, correct? So we need to give
Yes.
some unique name, like I want to connect with MySQL, I want to connect with Oracle, I want to connect with Sybase. So that to give our instruction or input to the Hibernate, we need a Hibernate.dialectic. So this is a property.
Okay.
So basically these sample examples you can copy from the download or you can copy from internet, and you have to change the values.
Mm.
So basically it's difficult to type. Why? Because these XMLs and all the signature and all we have to give as it is. Basically you need to copy from the internet and you have to modify. These examples I will upload into the internet and you can download from internet this example as it is. Okay.
Okay.
The
Okay.
first one is, right, we need some configuration file. This configuration file is having all database related details. The first property is hibernate.dialectic. So what it will tell you, right? So which database you want to connect? You want to connect with MySQL or Oracle. For each database, there is just some standard dialectic is there. So this is dialectic is for MySQL. org.hibernate.dialectic.mysql. Okay, if you want to
Okay.
connect with Hibernate, sorry, my Oracle org.hibernate.dialectic.oracle. So there is some other dialectic is there that you
Okay.
have to mention. And driver class name. So this is also same, com.mysql.jdbc.driver. For each vendor, there is some specific driver is there. If you see our old Java program also, we have a driver class.
Okay.
The similar way, you have to configure in XML.
Hmm. Okay.
So, and the second one is database URL. JDBC
Got it.
MySQL colon the same. That is also there, but here you are writing everything in Java file, correct?
Yes. Yes.
But here I'm configuring in XML. So here JDBC colon MySQL colon. This is my MySQL server URL, and this is my
Got it.
username, and this is my password.
Okay.
So far, I mean that is the database credential or details or inputs. Okay,
So it's all going to be in a file.
configuration file, yes, and this
Okay. Yeah. Configuration file, right?
hibernate.cfg.xml. You can give any name. That .cfg.xml is must. Hibernate, you can give any name, xyz.cfg.xml, pqr.cfg.xml. That is the naming conversion we had to follow.
Got it.
And the another parameter or property is hibernate.show.sql. So what it will do, I told you, right, it will generate the query.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see the query, you have to add this parameter and enable as a true. Then you can able
Okay.
to see the query. I will show you the query also. The generated query it will show. If you don't want to see the queries, then you can make this as a false. It will not display in the console.
Okay.
It will generate the query, but if you want to see the query, if you want to display in the console, then you have to make this as a true.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
And and another property is hibernate dot hvm to ddl dot auto. What it will do. So first time in production, right? If we have to create tables, correct?
Mm-hmm.
After second time onwards, we have to insert the data, correct?
Yes.
That is in case of production. Whereas in case of development environment, let's suppose you are trying to do some testing of create tables. So every time you have to create the table and delete the table, create the table and delete the table until you finalize the table structure, correct?
Yes.
So because development environment, we are keep on creating the tables and deleting. So that how we are controlling this one. So if you give create and score drop, what it will do, for every time when it's creating the table, if table is there, it will drop the table and it will recreate again.
Okay.
Whereas if you mark this as update, if table is there, it will try to insert the data. If it is there, it will insert the data. If it is not there, it will create and it will insert. So that is the
Got it.
basic
Okay.
difference between create and score drop and update.
Okay.
And the next resource is, if you see there is a resource com.test. So this is also another XML.
Okay.
Employee.hbm.xml. So what is the purpose of this XMLs? Now database configuration is done. Now we need to go to the table.
Okay.
So which table you want to create? What is the columns? What is the data types? Correct? We need to configure. So that is the next question. So this is also an XML. So you can keep
Okay.
this XML. You can keep everything in one place, or you can keep in different packages. That is up to you.
Okay.
So let me open
Okay.
another XML. So this is the table XML. This is related to table, not configuration. It's a table. What table you want to create, and what is the column names, or what is the data type?
Okay.
Okay. So that I want to create table called EMP 1000. So this is a
Got it.
sample XML. You can take it and you have to modify the values. The table name I
Okay.
want to create EMP some 1000. It's a table name. And if you see, right, in case of Hibernate, for every table we have to create, we need to add one unique key, primary key.
Got,
So we can, by using that, we can able to identify the record uniquely.
got it.
So that we need to call it as ID. So ID is the name, and you can give the column name whatever you want. So whatever you are giving this ID, so with that name, Hibernate will create the table with this column. So right now I had given column name as ID. You can give anything, whatever you want.
Okay.
So that unique key we can able to assign the value two ways. One is it will generate automatically, or else you can assign the value.
Okay.
So for time being, right, for one example, I will create myself and I will assign that unique key. As part of second example,
Okay.
I will give a chance to the database. It will generate that unique key from database side.
Okay. Sure.
And this is a column name. This is a column name. And the second column name I mentioned as a first name. So whatever name you are giving, with that particular name, Hibernate will generate the query. Okay.
Okay.
And the third column I had given as a last name.
Mm-hmm.
These are the column names, property name, column names. The second one is if you want to mention the type of the column. So I want to save only string or integer. So there is a column
Ye-
called type. So you want to save as
hmm,
part of first name string or number or float or something, that we have to mention here java.log.string. If you are not mentioning anything, it will consider as a string, by default string.
got it.
So this is the tables. So column names and table name, correct?
Yes,
Now, and another question, another point is, so we need to set the values, right? So for that, we need some Java class, com.test.employee.
okay.
Okay, com.test.employee. So what is the purpose of this employee class? We need to open the another class. So this is a simple Java class. So here there is a three fields: ID, first name, and last name. Three fields totally.
Got it.
So here write first name, whatever you had given, first name and last name. So this is your Java class names. So
Got it.
we have ID, we have ID, we have a first name, we have a first name, and last name is there. So these are the Java field names. Say for instance, inside the Java, you have a first name, but when you are trying to create a table, you want to give first name n should be the small, or first underscore name, column name, that you have to
Yes,
configure here. Like there is a column something, first underscore. So this is the database column name, and this is your corresponding Java field.
got it.
Both are independent. So when you are setting the value for first name, you have to create an object, employee object, and you have to set the value for first name, and this first name will be saved into employee table and under this column. This is optional.
Okay,
If you want, you can give this column name. If you don't want to give, it will give same as your Java file name.
got it.
And now XML's configuration is ready. Now finally what we have to do, we have to write another client program, and we have to use these all three files, and we need to create a table. So this is the final table. So this is simple Java class. It is having some main program, and the main we have to create a configuration CFG. These steps we have to remember.
Got it.
Configuration
Okay,
CFG equal to configuration, and the as part of configure method, we have to give your CFG XML input.
got,
And inside the CFG XML, we are already referring the HBM file.
got it.
And after that, we have to get the session factory. So what is the, so here we are reading the configuration as part of configuration CFG, and by using the configuration, we are trying to create a session factory. I told you, right? So this is a session factory. This bigger
Okay,
outer line is a session factory, or this is this
okay,
one, session factory. Okay, inside from session factory, what we have to do? We have to get one, we have to open one session for one user.
okay.
One session means, so this is one session, correct?
Yes,
So now we have a session, correct? Now you have a session, then begin the transactions. What you want to do from that session? You want to insert the data, you have to begin the transactions.
yes.
Then you have an employee object, create employee object and set the values.
Got it.
Okay. Into the session, you have some methods. These you have to remember: save, delete. There is so many methods. For time being, just remember save. So you have to send your Java object as an input, and with all the
Okay,
proper values, whatever you created. Okay. Once the insertion is done, you feel everything is success. Then you have to commit it. Then only the
got it.
data will be pushed to the database. Otherwise, the data will not push. So you have a control.
Got it. Okay.
If you feel some exception happen, then don't do commit. Then data will not
Got it.
translate into the database. Okay, once you committed, then you can close the session. It's unnecessarily, right? So if you once everything is done, then what you will do? You can close this session explicitly.
Got it. Okay.
So this is the way. Then that's all. So what I will do, I will run this example and I will create a table and let me see. So for time being,
Okay.
what is there? For time being, what I will do, for every time I will create a drop. I will I will enable this option. For every run,
Okay.
it will create a new table and it will insert the data. If it is there already, it will drop it. If it is correct, so that scenario I'll show you.
Got it.
And before that, there is another point. So if you see here, we are importing so many files. To
Mm-hmm.
import these files, we need supporting libraries. So these libraries we need to download from Hibernate website. So we need these classes, right? Like configuration, transaction, session factory. So these classes I have not written. So we need to download libraries from the Hibernate website. So that URL also helping you. So there is.
Okay.
So you need to download from hibernate.org from this website. This one you need to download. Stable version.
Okay.
So this URL helping you. Just you can save somewhere. Where is that? Okay, I'll ping you that one. Right now that chart window is not coming here. I'll ping you. So
Hey.
from yeah. Okay, another. So you need to download from this URL. So these libraries, and that libraries you have to add class path of your Java project. So how to add? Right click on your Java project and Java build path. So you have an option add external jars. Click this one, and if you download that file, right, whatever I showed you, you will get one zip file. That zip file is look like this: hibernate-release-5.2 something. Okay, extract that one, and you have a lib. Open this one, and here we have a required. So under that you have
Got it.
so many libraries. Select everything, and open and add it. So that will be added to your Eclipse libraries tab, and you have to select second option, add external jars. Then you can able to
Okay.
download all these classes. Okay,
Got
now
it.
let me um, run and we will see whether table is creating or not. So now I selected create underscore drop. So for every run, what it will if table is there, it will drop the table and it will create it. If table is there, it will drop the table and it will create it. So now let me log in into MySQL also. Whether table is there or not, we will see. Okay, these are the current tables. You see there is employee 1000 table also is there. So what I will do, I will drop the table. So I deleted the table. Now if you see the table, there is no employee table.
Yes, yes.
So I want to change the table as a employee capital. So how to change the table name? Go to Hibernate. So you can give the table whatever you want. I want to give EMPLOYE. And right now there is no employee table. Correct? Only 3 tables is there.
Yes, yes.
Now let me run this program and let's see whether this table is creating or not. First it will create the table and it will insert the data with the ID as a 122, name as a something. Okay.
Okay.
Now we see here, if you see the log, right, you can able to see the query. Create table, employee ID, int null, blah blah blah. Correct?
Yes, yes.
And it is inserting data, insert into employee and first name, last name, ID. Correct? You can able to see the query.
Uh,
Correct?
and all we already defined it.
Sorry.
Uh, Primary key ID, we already defined it,
Yes,
right?
yes. I told you, right. For every table, we have to give some primary key. That primary
Yes, yes.
key is ID.
Okay.
So the name you mentioned is ID. You can give anything. For sample, I'm giving XXX. So whatever name you are giving, so that will be. Now let me rerun again, and we will see whether it is considering XX or not. Now what it will do, it will delete the existing table. Okay, let me show you first whether table is there or not. So you see employee,
Yeah.
table is there, right? Employee. Now let me select star from employee. So you will see one record. Correct?
Yes.
Now let me rerun and ID column name modify to XXX. Correct? Now let me run it. See here what it's saying. Could not locate getter name for property name employee ID. So this is the Java field name. We should not modify the Java field name. Where is that? Yes. So this is a Java field name. Java field name we have to give ID as it is. I had to give column COLUMN equal to XXS. So this is the Java name equal to Java field name, and if you want to modify the column name, you have to write column equal to XYZ. Then we need to rerun it. Let me rerun. See, it's created table name is column, correct?
Yes.
If you want to change the column name, you can able to change. Everything is flexible here.
Okay.
Either XXX. Now we can able to control database column names from the. So in the Java side, we have a first name and the corresponding column name I want to save as a first underscore name,
Got it.
and it will generate the query. So the table structure got changed. Initially ID, now XXX, correct? And we can able to
Got
see
it.
the query here.
Yes.
So if you don't want to see the query, then we have to make the CFG as a false. Show query, we have to make as a false. Then run it again. Then you will not see the query. It will not display
Got it.
queries in the log message. Correct? Now you will not see any query, correct? So this message I have written in my main class.
Got it. Got it.
So this way you can able to control it. So every time it is dropping the table and it is creating, correct? You will see always only one record. Why? Because every time
Yes, yes.
dropping the table and it is recreating. So now what I want to do, I want to insert the data every time. I don't want to drop the table. So for that, what I had to do, I had to enable this option as update. So now let me comment out the above line. Now what it will do, if table is there, it will add the records. If table is not there, it will create it. Correct? Now let me run it. Table is already there. Now let me run it and it will fail now. I will tell you why it is failing. It failed. You see there is some exception.
Yeah.
So what is the exception here?
Duplicate entry.
So 122 is already there, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
So it's so so this XX is a unique ID. We have to give always unique value. So we should not give some existing value. So that is what database is not taking. So if you try here,
Okay, okay.
one entry, it's failed. So I have to give ID as a unique value. So how to I have to go to my main program and I have to give ID to 122 to I'm giving 123. And you can
Got it.
do anything this one
Hmm.
XYZ. So now let me run it and successfully saved. Now let me select star from employee. You will see 2 records.
Yes.
Now let me add another unique key and let me add some different value. So this you can prepare one list and you can add it. You have array list, you know, right, how to create. So prepare a list and you can call this save n number of times. So it will record so many records.
Got it. Okay.
So now I changed the value. Let me run it. Successfully saved. Go here. So data is inserted, correct?
Yes.
So this is very easy, right? How we are connecting with database. We are not at all creating the table and we can able to control everything. Table name, column name, everything, correct?
Yes, yes.
Let's suppose, say for instance, let me give the table name. I don't want table name employee. I want only EMP. So this table is not there, right now. EMP is not there, correct?
Yes.
So what it will do, let me run, it will recreate the table and so EMP table is not there. We have an employee table, but we don't have EMP. So let me run it EMP. So we have EMP created. So within a second, you can able to create the table, change the table, column names, and if you want to change the database from MySQL to Oracle, then go to here this XML and change the dialectic, username, password. That's all. Till here you have to change.
Yes.
It is not a Java change. It is a XML change. You can configure at any time and you can push that XML. That's all.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
And as for today example, so the primary key I am giving, correct, every time, unique key.
Yes, yes.
So if you want to generate it from system,
Mm-hmm.
so this is a unique key, right? So if you want to generate from system, so there is another way to generate it. So that I will give another example tomorrow. So how to generate this unique key from the system. Basically, I want to generate some sequence number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Got it. Got it.
So that you no need to give that sequence number. So Hibernate will generate that sequence key. So how to generate that sequence key? I will give tomorrow another examples with some different scenarios.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure.
So this example is clear, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Mm.
what I will do, I will send these files to you and
And
video.
all
You can
links.
practice. Yeah, tell me.
No, the link.
The link, yeah,
Uh,
I will send now only, but as part of email, I will send. Right now, I'm not able to see the chat window. I will send in the email.
yeah.
Yeah,
In
okay.
email only I was.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
email,
Yeah.
I will send that URL also. You can download it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Thanks.